Okay, everybody, we're going to begin. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Wyndham Raymond School District Board of Directors meeting. Today is Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. We are meeting in the Wyndham High School Auditorium and the time is 6:30. May I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Kate Bricks.
Here.
Jessica Bridges.
Here.
Jenny Butler.
Here.
Jody Carroll.
Here.
Caitlin Downs.
Here.
Marge Gavoni.
Here.
Shar Jewell.
Here.
Mike McClellan. Here. Christina Small.
Here.
Lillian Nugent.
Will you please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Howell, any adjustments to the agenda?
No, we don't have any adjustments tonight.
Okay. Next up is item 6, public input, and we've had the summer off, and I thought we'd have a refresher on the guidelines. The purpose of the public comment is to provide an opportunity to address the board on matters as specific to our schools and educational matters. All other comments beyond that scope are not appropriate for this meeting. The board will listen carefully to all members of the public, but will not respond. Speakers are expected to follow rules of common decency and decorum. Interrupting any speaker during this time is not permitted. All speakers are to address the board and not the audience. Each person is granted an opportunity to address the board one time during public comment with a maximum speaking time of 3 minutes. Sharing time with another speaker is not permitted. I will alert the speaker at the 3-minute mark. If speakers do not complete their comments within the allotted 3 minutes, they may submit a written statement to the board. Written statements are also accepted from those who do not wish to speak publicly. Requests for information will be noted and referred to the superintendent for further action if necessary. Discussion of matters involving individual students is not permitted during public comment due to the privacy, confidentiality, and due process rights of any RSU 14 student. Additionally, comments regarding any individual staff member, either by name or specifically identifiable by position, are not permitted as well. If the comment continues, the mic will be turned off. Complaints about any district employee should follow the process outlined in policy KEB. Public complaints about school personnel are not permitted during public comment. We ask that the adults who come before us share their first and last name and the town they reside in. Students are only required to share their first name. We're ready to begin. Thank you for joining us this evening. We look forward to hearing from you. Who, if anyone, would like to speak? I'm not seeing any movement. Okay, I will close public input. We'll now move into superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Kind of have a hodgepodge tonight of updates for the board and also updates for the public, and a couple of the items for board members are some repeats of some things that I've previously communicated out. But it has been a busy summer, and the next month is going to be extremely busy with some final construction concept design decisions that will need to be made for the new combined Wyndham Raymond Middle School. So first of all, just for anybody watching tonight, August 24th at 6:30 p.m. right here in the Wyndham High School Auditorium, we will be doing another straw poll vote. Remember back in June we had one for site selection. This is a straw poll vote on concept design. And this is to bring forth to the public an opportunity to review the concept that's been worked on now for the last couple of years and have the opportunity to ask questions. It will last roughly about an hour. And once that hour is up, we'll have a chance to take a vote. This is a non-binding vote, but it's an opportunity for the public to weigh in on this project. So starting as early as tomorrow, Bill and I and Lance Whitehead, who is our lead architect, will be meeting with Maine Department of Education construction team. We hope to finalize the budget tomorrow with the state team. Right now, for the state of Maine, is going to be contributing somewhere between $132 and $135 million to this project. Tomorrow night, The middle school construction team or committee will be meeting at Zoom at 6 o'clock and are going to need to make some decisions on some elements of the project through negotiations that have been taken from the state side over to the local side, and whether or not that those want to be included in the project. So that team also tomorrow night will be looking to set final budget. Currently, right now, the committee is right around $38 million that they're recommending, and the breakdown of that would be a 20-year bond, and it would be 80% towards Wyndham and 20% towards Raymond. And by on the 24th, when we do the straw poll, we'll have some better finance breakdowns of where that's going to be. Again, state of Maine is putting a significant investment into Wyndham and Raymond to make this project happen. August 22nd, I will be meeting with the commissioner, with the head of construction, and we'll be going over the project for her approval. August 24th is the straw poll. The 25th, I will be presenting to the State School Board Construction Committee, and they will vote whether or not to move this forward to the full committee, and then on September 13th, the State School Board will have a chance to vote. They are voting overall on the project. Ultimately, we need their approval because, again, the state is paying roughly 80% of this bill. So a lot happening with construction. We will be sending out some additional information to families. We want to have as many community members out there. There will be a public notice in the Eagle on Friday. Next Friday, there'll also be a feature article in the Eagle next Friday as well, encouraging people to come out and participate in this process. But it's a once-in-a-lifetime, or at least a once-in-every-25-year opportunity for the district, and I think we need to take advantage of this opportunity as much as we can. Some other things that are happening, and actually some other great news pieces. If you were following it all last spring when the requirement came in the state of Maine for testing PFAS in wells, we discovered that Jordan Small's well tested next to negligible for PFAS trace, and when we're talking PFAS for our testing, it's parts per trillion. So even whether or not somebody wore deodorant on the day that they take the test can actually have an impact on the test itself. But board members, you're aware, and the public approved at the public budget meeting $100,000 for a new well at Raymond Elementary School. A new well was drilled about 925 feet and has sufficient yield. The final test came back yesterday, so our final lab report, and there's no PFAS in the well. So what it's going to allow us to do is abandon our well at Raymond Elementary School, transition to a new well. We're currently right now going through the paperwork for commissioning a public water supply. If you've been at RES the last couple of weeks, there has been conduit run, there has been water lines run to the building, and they're going to be paving tomorrow because they had to bring it under the sidewalk. And we are hoping to have that up and running for the start of school, which will allow us to get rid of all those 5-gallon jugs that are in all the hallways in RES, which not only was used for drinking water, but think about all of our kitchen people who are lugging the 5-gallon jugs and trying to make meals at the same time. So some absolutely great news with that. The investment is well worth it because we were already going to be looking at between $35,000 and $40,000 a year in an annual cost for a treatment system for RES, and now we can forego that entire piece and have clean water in that building. So some exciting news. Some bad news for the public, and I know anyone who's watching and plays rec basketball at Wyndham Primary School, we had to send a notice to the town yesterday that we will not be able to offer that, but in addition, it's going to have an impact on Wyndham Primary School and the elementary phys ed program. We had a significant leak in one of the walls of the gym at the primary school, and we lost roughly a third of that gym floor by water sitting on it, coming on, penetrating underneath, right basically to the foul line, three-point line on one end. The end that's closest to the wall, so think end line to the wall, we're going to have to not have any student use because it's buckled up a few inches. As you go a little bit farther towards kind of the paint in front of the basketball hoop, it's got a little bit of curling in it, and then it starts to get a little bit better. Liberty Mutual has notified us that they're going to fully cover the cost of a new floor. Right now we're trying to figure out when is the best time to put a new floor in the primary school while we have classes and things going on. So Tanberg and TJ Tanberg, I just want to, if he's watching, and I doubt it, but I just want to say thank you to Tanberg. They have been outstanding this summer as a partner, and we finally discovered, Bill finally discovered the source of the leak yesterday after several different routes. Tanberg will, I believe, have machines on site tomorrow, if not tomorrow, on Friday, and they'll be excavating the back wall, and are going to be working on a long-term repair. But they have been outstanding partners in helping us with our water issue down there, and they know the timelines that we have things going. Last couple things, Manchester. If you've driven by Manchester, you notice it's a very different look to the campus. The project is running on schedule. Yes, actually, it might have been today. They were starting to run the 32 miles of effluent pipe, which is what's going to actually carry the liquid underneath the fields, and they use a drag system to do that. So that was started today. I don't know how long that takes to do that. But if you've also been following from Manchester, a new HVAC system, new electrical in order to be able to handle that HVAC system. Yesterday, the power was turned off. We're on temporary power through a generator at Manchester, and all the electrical gear is currently being pulled out so that we can have updated electrical gear. The rooftop units are on, and I've had a few comments from people, why are the rooftop units so large? I also asked Bill the same question. Those units include HVAC, which is not only the cooling but the heating, but also energy recovery systems that are as efficient as possible as they're pulling more air out. So that is actually on schedule for that. We hope to have electricity back up at Manchester on the 18th, which allows then for staff to come in and finally get in their classrooms. And I know that's been frustrating to have that closed, and Bill and the team are working as quickly as possible to get that done. And lastly, Jordan Small, if you've had a chance to go by there and see the flurry of activity that's going on, the fire alarm upgrade, and what has been done with that is an annunciator system so that when a fire alarm goes off, you actually can go in, check the panel, and see where it was. If you remember, board, last February, we had a fire alarm, we had to evacuate the building, and then it was, let's go find the head that's bad, because there was no way in that building to determine which one is actually the one that was sounding, and it was found in a closet in the library. So only took about half hour to find that one. So that has been that's almost completed. We're also in the process of replacing exterior doors on Jordan Small. That was part of our revolving renovation bond that was done actually back in 2020. We're a little bit behind on that due to some getting materials into the project, but we still will have the funds we've confirmed with the state to make that happen. Just a big thank you to Bill and all of our custodians. We asked them a lot to clean all the buildings and prep them this summer, and even just coming in tonight and seeing a fresh coat of wax on a 20-year-old floor and how beautiful this building looks. All the buildings look like that, and we've just sent them all these extra challenges with construction and with tearing up the ceilings for all the different annunciator systems and fire alarm systems, and they have just done an outstanding job getting us up and running. So a lot of things going on, and I sent out an email to Facilities Committee just prior to this meeting, hoping to get a meeting in close to the last week of August, talk a little bit about the work, some possibility for some land issues that we're going to need to take a look at as a Facilities Committee, and then also have a chance to tour the Manchester campus, because if you've not been up there, it is a tremendous transformation, and I think it makes you realize how large that campus actually is.
Thank you. Moving on to board roundtable. I know we've had a nice July break. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to share? Marge?
Hello? Okay. I don't trust myself, sorry. I just got a couple of things. One is only because I kind of bumped into these folks in past, during the summer, different things that were going on, and if it was the consensus of the board and they agreed, I would like to look at having the Wyndham PTA, Raymond PTO, and the Booster Club come in and present sometime to the board and to the community, to have some kind of an idea. We know, a lot of us know different things they do, but I don't think we all get a total feel for exactly how much they do for the students and for the community. So if that could be considered, if everybody agrees, if it could be considered to be on an agenda, or spread them out. They don't have to be the same night. But as long as we can get them there.
We're way ahead of you.
Thank you. That's because somebody reads my mind. The other thing, and which is not as pleasant, is bullying. I think, and I've talked to Chris about this, and I know I've heard a lot, and we've all heard a lot, I think, from parents. I've heard it even from teachers, stuff that's going on in classes. I've heard it from people who pull their kids off of buses because there's so much bullying going on. And I think over the last few years with COVID and everything that's gone on, it's increased. So I would like somehow some kind of an update. I know we have a policy. I don't know if it needs to be looked at again or whatever, but I know Chris had told me something, they were going to discuss something at the A-team around that. But I think it's a big concern. I have a family member who was also affected, but I have heard from many parents and from staff that there is a lot of bullying. And it's really, and from the parents, I was not surprised, but I was very surprised when staff told me that it was basically, and it's basically the students bullying the staff, or putting them in a position where they feel like they're, have to be very careful what they say back to students. So I know we can't control a lot of this because I know a lot of stuff is in the realm of the parents, and I don't know how we get them involved in that, but anyway, I can't wait to hear what we're going to do about bullying. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I have a couple of things. Are we live? Oh, I'm live all this time. Couple things. Chris, I was glad to hear about, I saw the signs for the hiring event that we did in the community, and just maybe if you could speak to that just for the full board quickly. I have a couple other things, but I'll just pause because I thought that was a really cool thing to see.
Sure. So hiring event, which was last week, right? I think we had 45 to 50 people who came in between the 2 days. Greatest amount of interest is everybody wants to work with Jeannie Riley, so a great amount of interest in food service, but definitely we picked up a number of applications for custodians and some interest in transportation, as well as 2 ed tech applications that came out of it. So a lot of interest, and a lot of people just came and had some conversations about what are some of the opportunities and may apply in the future.
May I just piggyback, if you don't mind? Can you speak to, I know we're approving a lot of staff this evening, the holes that we might still experience before the beginning of school, as far as positions open?
Sure. So our biggest need right now is actually in special education ed techs. That is a common theme, not only in our district, but districts that are surrounding us. Right now, we could use about a dozen. And we are working on plans. We were actually planning today, plans B, C, and D, if we don't hire enough individuals in those positions to make sure that we're meeting the needs of all students. And we have some ideas of ways to do that. That seems to be one of our greatest needs. We're looking at right now where we're getting our advertising message out as well to try to attract more individuals. Just if anybody's watching and wants to be an ed tech in our district, an ed tech 3 requires a college degree, and we can help with the paperwork and all the other things that are requirements. And Ed Tech 2 is 60 hours of college credits, but we're willing to help people. We also are involved with an apprentice program with Gorham and Scarborough and S86, where individuals can come in with just a high school diploma and earn their Ed Tech 3 and SMCC credits through that. Currently, we don't have anybody who is interested in working in our district and pursuing that. We continue to advertise advertise that as an opportunity and option. We have one middle school opening for a teacher. We're working on a process. We have some ways to cover that, but the greatest need right now is within special education and special education ed techs. I believe that we are fully staffed right now, kitchen, transportation, custodial. We picked up some applicants where Bill's going to take a look at that. We ran into great difficulty at the high school with the additional Spanish teacher that was approved in the budget, and so we're going through some other alternate opportunities with that. But we do have a few more positions that will come to the board next Wednesday night for approval.
Perfect, thanks. Sorry to interrupt.
Excellent. I am eager to hear, if anything, maybe in the next couple of meetings. Chris, we had talked about any potential bus technology that could be added, and that was something that we had just in concept spoke about as far as cameras or tech that can assist our bus drivers with near-miss accidents or notification for surrounding drivers. And I'd be eager to hear about anything that could be invested in. I'm not sure if that was on a future agenda, but I just had a note about that one. And then I guess just lastly, as we come into the fall, I know the curriculum team's been working diligently to look at the data that we finally got for spring and fall last year. And with the new testing in place, really looking forward to seeing some of that data in the fall. So thank the team for working diligently over several thousand students' data to give us an update in the fall. So I just wanted to say thank you because I know they're working at that. That's all I had for tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, let's move to committee reports. Other than policy, who seems to be very eager to meet during the summer, has anyone else met? I don't think so. Policy met on Monday, and we reviewed some technology policies that have been on the back burner, and we've got a little bit more work to do on reviewing those, and then those will come before the board. So that's what we worked on, and we have a meeting scheduled in the next week or so. Shar, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think I had mentioned it last meeting I was at, but I'll be reaching out to Chris and Stacy to set up some time to kind of do a deep dive into finance of the RSU and how it all works, and so we as board members can be prepared to answer questions a little more intelligently and hopefully have a budget season that goes really, really well this year and without any hiccups. And so that's the goal. So we can only do that through education. So thanks.
If I could just speak for a second, that's actually, the timing's great because we just finished our visit with the auditor this past week. So a lot of the documents and things are out right now for finishing up the year. And I know there was some interest from board members to also find out how we ended up year end, to take a look at that, because that's, we get our final numbers once everything closes out middle of July, so that we can also be prepared to share some of that information with you as well.
Perfect, thank you. All set, everyone? Okay, let's move into appointments. May I have a motion, please? Whoever would like to do it.
Hello? Oh, sorry. I guess there's a delay. All right. Molly, I think it's Klaus, school counselor, Wyndham High School. Oh, excuse me. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following appointments for the 2023-2024 school year. Molly Glaus, school counselor, Wyndham High School, Masters 3, $50,783.92. Brandon Hanlon, social studies teacher, Wyndham High School, bachelor's step 1, salary of $44,982.39. Lisa Burns, grade 3 teacher, Wyndham Primary School, master's step 24, salary $76,140.72. Kristen Chansky, Standards-Based Teacher, RES, Master Step 14, salary $67,781.16. Simon Russell, Music Teacher, Wyndham High School, Bachelor Step 0, $43,839.92. Alexandra Bellier, Special Ed Teacher, Wyndham Middle School, Bachelor Step 2, salary $46,124.87. Kevin Millett, Pre-K Teacher, RES, Master Step 1, salary $47,829.67. Megan Osgood, Math Teacher, Wyndham Middle School, Bachelor Step 0, salary $43,839.92. Brenda McGinnis, Point 2 Art Teacher, Wyndham Primary School, Bachelor Step 15, salary $12,767.35.
Second.
Thank you. Any board discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Thank you. Item 13, report of the secretary. Motion, please.
Okay. I move to approve the minutes of the June 28th, 2023 meeting.
Second.
Board discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. And finally, adjournment.
What'd she ask?
I move to adjourn the regular meeting.
Second.
Wait, are we all set for the,
I just want to, so 7 and 2 abstain because you weren't here, is that right?
Yep.
okay. And I'm sorry, a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the regular meeting.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Excellent. Good night, everyone. Thank you.